Oh, yeah, I was. Oh, shit. I need to set that to auto unmute me. I'll do that. That would be beneficial. All right. We should be golden. What's up, chat? What it do, babies? Yo, guys, we're here to debate. We got Winnie screening today. Worthy, Satan's MVP, and Zurith were first in chat today over on Twitch. We're chilling, bro. Wait, I got y'all on bingo. Oh, that was wrong. That was wrong. All right, topics today. Trans men and women are men and women. Trans kids deserve gender-affirming care. Capitalism is unethical. MAGA is a fascist movement. Christianity is false. Those are our topics. 219-327-8005 if you want to call in. That's the phone number to pick up. And I think that's everything for the day. There we go. That's better. Mods, remember you can send chats through Nightbot. Just a reminder. So you don't have to like send them to each. What the heck is a golden Kappa train? I don't know what Twitch be doing. Any movie or game you're looking forward to? Not really. Which is kind of depressing, low key. I don't really have anything that I'm like super looking forward to, except maybe the socialism conference. Like I'm looking forward to that, but like. Did everybody go follow Joe Varden Games? Go follow Joe Varden Games. What does the tag contingents gaps square mean? It's arguments that Christian needs to use. Socialism conference is in Chicago in less than a month. Can I get the link for Joe Varden Games? Can a mod get the link for Joe Varden Games? Also, Fuzzy, are we able to make it where we can give Nightbot new timers? Is that something we can add to the tool? You're gonna watch the new episode of ReZero tomorrow? Yes. Although I'm gonna wait for the English dub episode to drop. Because I watch it in English. We either go on in muted space. Yeah, no, yeah, I was muted, so go nuts. The tag contingent gaps one. Y'all just can't figure out what that one means? Okay. I don't know. I figured out what it means. Oh my God, is the vertical live? Wait, did the vertical go live? Yo, I just told Jimmy yesterday, I never have that preparing stream problem like you do. And looky here, I literally had it and didn't notice. All right, let me go live on the bird. Whoopsies. Sorry, vertical viewers. Yeah, it's doing that preparing stream thing that Jimmy's was doing. Fuck me. The one day I think that I got everything all set. And I didn't. Connect your encoder. Start to. Excellent. Preparing stream. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I whoopsied up Steve. I did a boo-boo. I did a oopsie-doopsie. It's okay. Do you and Arden have a separate channel or something? Yeah, Joe Varden Games. I'm going to be posting a whole edit of the Shift at Midnight video over there. Probably by the end of the week. So, Joe Varden Games. And we will be playing a new game on Friday. We're playing, what are we playing? I think Chained Together is the game we decided to play. We need people to go to that channel so that channel can get enough likes to go live, because that's where we'll be going live with the gameplay stuff. And we'll be doing it, you know how I have two streams running? We'll have two streams running. It'll be Jovan's view and Arden's view, and you guys can swap between them. Potentially we'll have a third going, that is both views if I decide to hire a producer to switch to like live switch, but I haven't decided before doing any of that yet. I'll see the channel when I search it. It's right there. Nightbot sent it. You got to capitalize the J and the A and the G. Joe Varden. When I go back to Texas, part of Joe Varden Games is going to be filming me, Arden, Matt, probably Jimmy, maybe Luthien playing board games. Dude, I woke up and did so much shit this morning and now I'm exhausted. Do you play D&D? No, but if this thing for Forest happens, I will be. Would you ever make vaccines are safe as a topic? I just think it's such a dumb thing to, like, nobody who calls in on that is gonna be able to give me any argument, you know? So I just find it, I find it slightly silly, if that makes sense. Because they don't have an argument. They like quite literally don't have an argument. They don't know this, they don't know science. So it's like, what am I gonna be arguing? I had to fix the lights, my lights. Oh, now they're too bright. I can tell because they're brightening up the area around me too much. Like my background. I've not D&D'd, so. Brother, I just answered the D&D question. I'm not good at improv, so D&D can be a little rough for me. Not really an improv kind of guy. Two 219-327-8005. Call in if you disagree with any of the topics. Trans men and women are men and women. Trans kids deserve gender-affirming care. Capitalism is unethical. MAGA is a fascist movement. And Christianity is false. Oh, Fuzzy, we also need the ability to create more commands. A command for Joe Varden Games would be good, like a command for the bingo board. We gotta be able to make commands in the tool, the Nightbot tool. YouTube pisses me off because I can't find the channel. Are you capitalizing everything? Capital J, O-V, capital A-R-D-E-N, capital G, games. Oh, yeah, no, it still doesn't pop up. I wonder why that is. There's 124 subscribers. I wonder why you guys can't find the channel without the direct link. Mods are posting the links in chat, so just pull the link. How did Gulkis post a link in the chat just now? They're not a mod. Y'all don't want to hear my take on Pred Catcher videos. You won't like it. It was really hard to find it with the link. I just clicked the link and it takes me directly there. Once we post a video, it'll probably be easier to find. What are your opinions on Pred Catchers? I think 9 times out of 10, Pred Catchers just want to commit violence against people, and they found a population group that we view acceptable to commit violence against. It has nothing to do with protecting children. Like, literally nothing to do with protecting children. They just want to beat somebody's ass. They want to beat somebody's ass and humiliate somebody. And I'm not saying that predators don't deserve their asses beat. I'm saying the people that are doing it are not doing it for some altruistic reason. They just have a violence kink, and they found a group that people aren't going to get mad at them for committing violence against. It's pretty clear. It's pretty obvious that that's happening, right? You know? Spencer, thank you for the Venmo. Said people aren't including the @ in youtube.com/@JoeVardenGames. Oh, are you guys not including the @? Even the police one, man. I'd be very interested to know if To Catch a Predator actually had a measurable impact. That would be a very interesting thing to see, because I don't think it did. I know there was the one instance with, I read about this, that Chris Hansen like bingled was it Chris Chan, that investigation, because somebody who was a victim like gave him a piece of evidence that he sat on so long that it almost ruined their case. Oh, Nissan, sorry, not Chris Chan. Oh, Nissan. One of the fucked up people. You're gonna see the primetime movie about To Catch a Predator? Only because I love fucking Robert Pattinson. And I'll watch damn near anything that man is in at this point. 219-327-8005, baby. He's been killing it. He is on a generational run, bro. My man's has not done a bad movie in like 5 years. Him and Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling's been in some ones that I don't think are great. Except Tenet. I didn't hate Tenet. I didn't think Tenet was bad. I think it's just been done so many times before that I didn't care about it. Meanwhile, you have people like who go to Congress who are like, yeah, I'm spending tons of money in these programs to help us find CP and get it off the internet. Those people. I said that I paused my camera so you guys wouldn't watch me blowing my fucking nose. Oh, Friday we're doing tier 4 member game night over on Discord. If you're a tier 4 member or a tier 3 YouTube member. So a tier 4 member on YouTube, sorry, a tier 4 member on YouTube, tier 3 member on Twitch. We're doing a game night, just me and you guys over on Discord. So make sure you're there on Friday night. I think we're starting at like 9 p.m. Probably Jackbox. Okay. We got a call. Let's take it. All right, coming up to stream is David. David is calling from North Carolina to talk about topic number 1, trans men and women are men and women. David, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
51, male.
David, you've called the show before. You know that won't work.
He, him.
There you go. I don't know why I even love you to begin with. All right, David, I believe trans men and women are men and women. Do you disagree? And if so, why?
Yeah, I definitely disagree. Trans men are trans men and trans women are trans women. But essentially, a man is anyone with a pencil and peanuts, and a woman would not have that.
You can say penis and vagina, David.
I wasn't sure. There's a lot of stuff with language and people getting triggered and things of that nature. So I'm kind of out of the loop on what's acceptable and what's not on platforms such as this. But yeah. So I mean, do you believe that a woman can have a penis?
Do I believe a woman can have a penis? Yes, I don't believe anatomy decides gender. Why do you think we ought to define gender by anatomy?
I don't know, because it's been that way for millennia. So you think that a woman can have a penis?
Hold on, David.
No, I just want to be
David. Yes, women can have penises, but again, what you just did is fallacy.
Bro.
You just did a fallacy.
You guys are gonna lose,
do you David? I don't know why you're trying to run. I just want to point out
I'm not running.
You are running. You just said I gotta go.
You
just said I gotta go, like you're running away from an argument that you started.
We're talking
by the
about.
way.
You're saying up is down.
You called and started the argument.
No,
you did a lot. You did a. Do you know what a logical fallacy is, David? Do you know what a logical fallacy is?
Yes, educate me, please.
Great. A logical
First of all, we're not talking about rocket science. We're talking about, you just
I
said
don't know.
a
Why would
woman
I be
can have a
talking about
penis.
rocket science? We're talking about logic, basic
You're
logic.
talking about the most basic
Do you know
premise
what
of humanity.
logic? You don't know what a logical fallacy is? Do you want me to tell you?
Educate me, sir. Yep, go ahead.
Great. So logical fallacy would mean that you are making an argument that is invalid because of an invalid reasoning. So if you're saying we ought do something because we've just always done it this way, this is called an appeal to tradition. Just because we've always done something one way doesn't mean that that way is correct. It doesn't mean that that way works the best for us. It means none of this. So you did a fallacy. Hold on, I'm not finished. You did a fallacy, David. So when I asked you, and I'll ask the question again, and hopefully you can give me an answer that's not fallacious, why ought we define gender by what's in somebody's pants?
Because we need to be able to make distinctions in life. What is what we're seeing? What is a tree? What is a donkey? What is this? There's just distinctions that we make just in biology and life and just in society as a whole. We have distinctions, and that's how we would make a distinction. Who is a woman? Or if not, why even have gender at all? Why even have a male and female? Why would we even have pronouns? Just everybody group into one. Why don't we just all be one thing?
Okay,
why even
David,
have a man
David,
and
I can't answer when you ask like multiple questions at once. So we already have those distinctions. Male and female still exist. So if we're talking about anatomy, we already have the words for anatomy. It would be male and female. Those exist. They didn't go away. When it comes to women and men, we've actually expanded the category while defining things in the category a bit more cohesively. That's why you would have man and you would have woman, and then you'd have trans man and trans woman. Then you'd have cis man and cis woman. These are all terms under an umbrella term, man and woman, that would further define what those things are past its base level. So if your argument is, well, we need distinctions, we have those distinctions. So therefore, we should be able to define man and woman in a way that includes trans men and includes trans women.
All right. So I'm really curious about this. I'm not being argumentative at all. I'm really trying to get an understanding of this whole thing, believe it or not. So when you say, so can someone with a penis be a female?
Depends on how you're defining female. Different branches of science categorize female in different ways. For example, evolutionary biology, they're going to count strictly gametes. This is going to be different from like endocrinology, which is looking at primarily hormone profiles. So it would depend on how you're categorizing male and female. If you're categorizing it on a strictly genotypic level, males and females are pretty much set in stone because you're going to be analyzing them based on chromosomal distinctions. If you are defining it phenotypically, then yes, people who are male can change phenotypic attributes about themselves to now phenotypically align as female. So it just depends on what way we're defining it per what branch of science we're looking at.
Okay, and then and this is the whole thing premise is just, to me personally, and it's just my opinion, and I'm sure there's others that share my opinion, and there's those on your side that share your opinion. That's just how it goes. This is just like, my mind is like, I'm trying to wrap my mind around this. So let's say, and this is a hypothetical, and it's going to sound, far out there, but I'm really trying to get understanding. So let's say I wake up one day, and I'm sorry to sound so basic. If I wake up one day and I say, so clearly you know that I'm a man, even though I said, if you have any type of understanding of a distinction just by my voice alone, you would know or have an assumption that I'm a man just based on my voice, right? So let's say I wake up one day and I say, I don't feel like I'm a man any longer. I am now a woman. So I'm essentially now a transgender woman. So therefore, I am a woman. That can happen. I mean.
So when I analyze your hypothetical, if there is somebody, first and foremost, we all make assumptions about what people are. Our assumptions are wrong a lot of the times, right? Because we don't have an insight into those people's minds. So I can assume what someone's gender is. I would argue that most of our assumptions are wrong 90% of the time. right? We don't
Wow,
know.
that's
We
far
don't
out there.
know. We don't know
How can we
any.
even go through
I'm
life without having
hold on.
assumptions?
Wait, I'm not saying that we don't do it. I'm saying that like we know nothing about a person from simply looking at them. We know quite literally nothing
Wow.
about them. Nothing, none whatsoever.
Can I
You
just
can look at somebody who is the most timid looking person on the planet, and they've actually killed 20 people, right? We know nothing.
understood?
But when it comes
Understood.
to
But most of the
gender,
time,
hold
our
on,
assumptions are
David.
correct.
Hold on. I want to answer.
Because you just
what-
brought up a whole nother
David,
premise.
hold
That's
on.
what I'm saying
No, I
about
didn't.
assumptions.
It was an answer
Yes, you
to
did.
what you already started talking about. I'm talking about just blanket assumptions. Assumptions are probably wrong way more times than we can count. Now, if I'm assuming somebody's gender, that's fine. If they correct me, then I've now been corrected. And I can't say,
Okay.
well, I think you're actually this, so I'm going to continue to call you this.
I never said that.
Because I didn't say you did. I'm saying that people can correct you because gender is an internal sense of self. So it doesn't matter what I view somebody's gender as. What matters is what their internal sense of self is.
Understood.
Now, when it comes to can someone wake up tomorrow and typically when we look at the way trans people have transitioned, right? And if we look at the way gender dysphoria or gender incongruence shows itself in human psychology, typically this is a feeling that they have felt most of their life. In fact, we know that gender dysphoria reaches a peak, or a peak as in like, I shouldn't say a peak. It starts ramping up around the age of 7. And then it hits it full overdrive when puberty starts. Now, if you wake up after years and years and have realized, oh, I think my gender identity is that of woman, and I've just been living, the lie to fit into society, then yeah, you are a woman now. Because a woman doesn't require you to be anything physical. It requires a brain state that aligns with sort of your cognitive framework of different attributes and stereotypes and traits and all these other things. So yeah, you don't have to do anything physical. It's a state of mind.
Okay. So you agree that the third pick of the NBA draft, Enes Kanter, can now enter the women's draft in the WNBA because he says he now identifies as a woman.
Nope.
Now you don't agree with that? Why not?
Because I believe I'm trying to answer you. I believe that for sports, there should be certain athletic profiles that you have to meet in such as like hormone levels, in such as so like, for example, most studies show us that after 3 years on feminizing hormones, the athletic difference between a trans woman and a cis woman virtually goes away, right? So then I would say, because we have this thing that a lot of people are very up in arms about, if you want to compete in this already pre-existing framework, you go on hormones for 3 years. If she does that, if she wants to be a woman and she does that, then yes, she can compete. Now, there are some sports I'm going to say I don't give a shit about.
As discrimination?
No, I wouldn't categorize that as discrimination.
Is he not a woman?
Yes.
So you're saying that he has to go into some type of...
he is not. Let's be up front here. It's pretty obvious to tell that he is not a woman and that he is doing this.
Nope. No, you're making an assumption.
Sure, but you said assumptions aren't wrong. My assumptions aren't wrong. Let's just be upfront here, David. I want you to be honest in this conversation. He is not doing this because you're not. He's not doing this, David.
The whole thing is dishonest. That's the point. That's what makes it so foolish.
David,
he has cat ears.
I don't know why. I don't know what you're attempting here. But he is very clearly. I don't know why every time, David. I don't know why every time I go to talk, you have to talk. This is a skill that like toddlers learn how to wait and listen.
Okay. All right.
So I need you to wait and listen. Okay. So he is very clearly doing this through some anti-trans lens to prove some type of point. He doesn't actually want to compete in the WNBA. He doesn't actually want to be drafted in the WNBA. You can't
do that, though.
David,
you're,
I don't know why.
You're not.
I don't know why you decided to interrupt. Again, I'm going to have to mute you now. I already gave you a warning about the interrupting. And he hung up. If I warn you about interrupting, and then the next thing you do is interrupt, you're going to get muted. And if that causes you to hang up the phone like a whiny little baby, then hang up the phone. Because you didn't even hear my whole argument. Because we didn't get to the point where I said, if we change all of sports and make all sports co-ed, then I don't think anybody needs to do anything and take anything. Maybe next time you won't get muted. If I ask you to stop interrupting, you stop interrupting. Did he mention cat ears? I didn't even hear it. $51, by the way. Well, age doesn't equal maturity. David isn't used to having discussions where he can't just talk over the other person. Well, that's why, like, fun fact, that's why most like fathers and uncles tend to win conversations against their kids, especially their daughters, because they just talk over them. Like, they aren't used to a conversation where they are held to a higher standard than just speaking loudly. Super chat today from Flux said transphobes have a terminal inability to hold conversations about the human body like adults. Fundamentally unserious people. Streamer's choice whether this is pay to kick or not. Well, he left Flux, so it all worked out in the long run. There was a girl who called me years ago who was so transphobic she was willing to get rid of her abortion or her rights to abortion, even though she wanted those rights. Balthazar, thank you for the super chats. And I guess the chest bands of trans women were because they are scared of people who can make queens out of kings, such cowards. No, literally. I need to make a thing where I just thought of something. Or Blair White. Referring to some medical bodies and appeal to authority fallacy. No, it isn't. You don't know how that fallacy works. I love when people say, go live in your parents' room, as if I don't have my own house. I'm in my office of my house. Like, it's so funny to me. You live in your parents' basement. I live in Florida. We don't have basements. It's just it's so funny to me, people who go, appealing to medical bodies is an appeal to authority. Because they don't know what an appeal to authority actually is. Let me check. Let me check on that for you, Yoshi. I need to just, yeah, there we go. There we go. My account. Yes, you are right, Yoshi. Two 219-327-8005. They think science is an appeal to authority. Well, the problem is they don't understand that when like, for instance, if somebody were to say, being trans is a mental illness, and I go, it's not, based upon the relevant evidence, right? When I go and look, the APA says that based on their review of the evidence, there is no linking of gender incongruence to mental illness. So I've not based it in the APA says this is true, so it must be true. I'm basing it on evidential review. Now, if they're going to claim that it is, now they have to provide evidence. Oftentimes, people who are claiming you're doing like an appeal to authority are just trying to shift the burden because they made a claim they don't want to have to substantiate. So it's much easier to just say, well, you're using a fallacy when you're presenting me with evidence. It's just easier to do. All right, I should have fixed it, Yoshi. The other thing with appeal to authority is you have to be stating the claim is true because this person says it's true, not because of the evidence, right? It's so stupid. Is an appeal to authority also including appealing to an irrelevant authority? No. No, I could just on my face say, well, the APA says this, so they must be wrong. Or the APA says this, so they must be right. But what if there's like a mountain of counter evidence to what the APA is saying? Right? Or I could go, oh, well, the FDA says Tylenol causes autism, so clearly it's true. Well, no, what does the actual evidence say? And what does a review of the evidence say? Now you can say, hey, there's a difference between that and an appeal to expertise. An appeal to expertise is a legitimate form of argument by saying that basically it's what I've been saying is like if you go, the APA concludes X because they reviewed the evidence and it had this study 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever you want to say. That's an appeal to expertise, and that's a valid argument form. Like it's valid to say this group has more expertise on this, so they're able to go through the evidence a bit better than I am, and here's what they've concluded based on looking at the evidence, and here's the evidence they use. The fallacy becomes when you do an appeal to authority. So if you say the APA says this, so this must be true, and that's all you give. Javon, I've been listening to you here and on the line. You seem like the most down-to-earth dude ever. I'm not. I'm actually massively, and I mean massively, shallow. I don't know. So it's legitimate when you agree with the results and a fallacy when you disagree with the results. Well, you, Taylor, clearly can't listen. So that's kind of crazy. Do you play Yu-Gi-Oh? No, but I do want to get a dual disc when I eventually put up my other 2 cabinets, my shelves. There's gonna be a shelf there, a shelf there, and then these are gonna go into the corner. That's the plan. They're out, the shelves are out there. I just have to build them and then buy the doors for them. Hey, Fuzzy, do the green names mean that they're members and subs in the staff chat? Is that what that means? Okay. We should have Jimmy build you some shelves. Jimmy has brain damage, so. An appeal to authority can include an irrelevant authority, but it's not beholden to it. You can all like that. Yes, that is also an appeal to authority. An appeal to authority would just be saying that because an authoritative body says so, then this must be true. That's the appeal. That's where the fallacy comes into play. X is true not because of the evidence. X is true because an authority figure told me so. Maddie J, Marx is dead, so I don't give a fuck if he was against LGBTQ people. Motherfucker's dead. Who cares? Like, goddamn. Pinkwashing hard as fuck, bro. What fallacy is that? Matt might know. There's a fallacy that says this specific thing is wrong because the person who made it or believed in it also believed in this fucked up thing, and that's also a fallacy. Is that a genetic fallacy? Oh, is it just a basic ad hominem? I think it's just a basic ad hom. Tu quo quo. Tu quo quo. Yeah, it's just a basic ad hom, yeah. Appeal to Jimmy Snow, that's crazy. Motherfucker just said it's not an ad hom. It is literally tu quo quo, which is a form of an ad hom. If person X believes A, but they also believe B, and B is wrong, therefore A must be false. No. Tu quo quo is appeal to. Tu quo quo would be if it's hypocritical. I mean, if they're completely unrelated. So that would just be the basic ad hom. Yeah. Had to think about it for a second. Jimmy's car accident caused him to be an Javon tag / contingent. That just means on the bingo board. That just means they're using tag, a contingency argument, or God of the gaps. That's all that means. Circumstantial ad hominem, is that what it is? Ad hominem circumstantial, logical. I love logicallyfallacious.com, bro. It hits. Suggesting that the person who's making the argument is biased or predisposed to take a particular stance and therefore the argument is necessarily invalid. I wouldn't even count that one. Person one is claiming Y. Person one has a vested interest in Y being true, therefore Y is false. Nope, I wouldn't say it's that one either. It is an ad hominem. I'm just wondering if there's like a further down one, like if there's one under the umbrella. Fam, just call in. People in the chat, like, just call in. If you want to debate and ask a question, call in. You want to know if you can be transracial? Pick up the phone. Can't the fine-tuning argument be debunked with the verse where God says it's okay to stone women that don't bleed during marital sex for the first time? Huh? I don't know. Ask Matt. He's in chat. Matt would be better capable of answering those questions. Define Iowa. All right, let's take the next call. All right, coming up to stream is Christopher. Christopher is calling to talk about topic number 1, trans men and women being men and women. Christopher, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
Age is 52. Pronoun, that's a tough one. I'm going to say me, myself, and I.
Well, those would be first-person pronouns. I'm asking you third-person pronouns.
I haven't. I honestly wouldn't have one because I don't believe in bastardizing the English language.
So the English language, which by its nature has created third-person pronouns, you think would be a bastardization to use third-person pronouns when the English language quite literally has a list of multiple of them.
I am them, they. Well, you're a singular. You can't be them or they.
Singular they, them has been used since the 1400s.
As a singular?
Yes. Yep. You learn something new every day, right?
Oh, hey, I agree. I mean, if that's the case, it's been. But, when I grew up, we were always taught that them and they was, hey, they are over there. Hey, I wonder what they're going to do today with them. You're talking about a different, different groups.
You could be talking about you could be talking about a singular person in all of those examples. If I said, hey, my friend James, he was over at my house yesterday, but then they had to leave because they had to go to the doctor's office. I'm talking about one person.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, you know what? I guess because I don't really think of third person speech. I guess that's why it never crossed my mind.
Yep. So I'll ask you then, what are your third person pronouns?
Oh God.
I can wait, I'll ask it easier. It makes so much sense. I'll ask it the second way. It's when people refer to you, do they refer to you as a he, a she, or a they?
He.
There you go. So your third person pronouns are he, him. Super simple.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. All right.
All right, Christopher, calling on topic number 1. Christopher, I believe trans men and women are men and women. Do you disagree? And if so, why? That was
For me, I personally disagree for the simple fact, I mean, yeah, there is gender dysphoria, which is a mental disorder, but at the same time, you can't change your biology. You're either male or female. You know, your biology doesn't change. Just because you get an operation, you change your wardrobe, you change your outward appearance, it doesn't change your genetics. It doesn't.
So there is an issue with this stance. The biggest being different fields of science and different fields of biology classify sex differently, and they use different markers to classify what is or is not male and female. So, for example, evolutionary biology. Evolutionary biology tends to classify sex via gamete production. Endocrinology tends to classify sex via hormone profile. So if we're going to say, well, yeah, you can only be one thing or the other, we would need to choose which of these multiple fields of science, which of their classification systems is the one that we're going with. I would say it's just easier to not do that and just recognize that it's sort of sex is sort of built up on a lot of different traits. And some of those traits are immutable and some of those traits are fully changeable. So like right now in science, it's not really possible to change your chromosomes. That's just not something that can really happen. However, your phenotypic sexual traits can mostly be changed. So like I said, your hormone profiles can be changed. Your reproductive organs can be changed. These things can all change. So there's no real reason to say that sex has to be this strict locked in thing. It would just be dependent on how we're classifying it.
Now, the outward appearance of sex organs, yes, that you can. That's what I'm saying. You have the surgery, you change the outward. But if you were born a biological male, you'll never have children. Without some kind of, and I do know that they've made this drug, I think back in I want to say it came out in the 90s, where men could share in the pleasure of breastfeeding, which, yeah, okay, I'm just going to go past that. I'm a whole different generation away from that stuff.
So there is a slight issue with saying this, right? Because because right now we're saying, okay, males don't have the ability to give birth, is what I'm assuming you're meaning by saying have children. Because like males can have children, they just aren't the ones who give birth. So you're saying males lack the ability to give birth. So giving birth is in this example, giving birth is an offshoot. So it's a trait that is given to you by the overall trait being male or female. So what is that overall trait? What is the thing that makes you male or female?
That is, you know what? I guess I never really gave it. With me, I guess, like I said, the generation I'm from is my upbringing, and that dictates a lot of my beliefs. And I mean, I do understand the psychological side of it, because walk through hell and kill for. She's a lesbian. She's very masculine, always has been. She's always been Dad's tomboy.
Okay, just real quick, you got very loud all of a sudden. I just wanted to.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it blew me out. Were you saying your daughter is a lesbian?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
And she's somebody I would walk through hell on Sunday whistling for, and not even think twice about it. She's always been very masculine in her the way she carries herself. But it's really weird because she has that tomboyish. She's very masculine, but at the same time, she also has the very feminine side of being a girl. And I look at that, and it's like, well, people say, well, it's a psychological thing. I'm like, I just have this whole problem with this concept of being born in the wrong body. I just, if it's
okay. So here's
the hormonal imbalance, chemical imbalances. That to me would make a hell of a lot more sense than.
Listen to me on this, Christopher. One thing to know is that when a trans person tells you they were born in the wrong body, that is just a turn of phrase used to help you better understand what they're going through. They don't actually think they were born in a different body or anything like that. It's just that the physical representation of their sex, so what we call their phenotypic traits, does not match their internal sense of self or their internal gender identity, which is just their inner perception of their sex. So if a good thought experiment to give here, let's say I was to take your brain, like everything that is your brain, and stick it in a body that's not yours. Because your brain has lived in your body for your whole life, it's probably going to feel weird. It's going to be like things don't feel right. Like my arms don't feel right. My legs don't feel right. My mouth feels weird. Have you ever gotten like I got a bridge put into my mouth recently and my mouth still feels weird because there are teeth that aren't mine in my mouth. So it's just, you're going to start to feel odd because you're so used to your body in the way that it is. And if I were to tell you, okay, Christopher, you're telling me you feel this way and it's causing you, like you're stressed out about it. How do we fix it? Well, we put you back in a body that matches your brain. That's all trans people want, is they want their bodies to match what their brain is telling them. So it's not necessarily that they're born in the wrong body. They still want their body. They just want the physical representation of their body to match what their brains tell them.
So, I mean, and I will admit, you do seem to be very up on the research and on a lot of this, which, I will admit I'm fairly ignorant of. I'm just an old Jack. But, wouldn't that be more along the lines of like, not so much a gender dysphoria, because I think a lot of that can be just a baseline mental disorder, but wouldn't it also have to do with your body's chemical makeup? I mean, and the reason why I say that is I was born ADD, HA, with bipolar. Well, excuse me, back then it was manic depressant and borderline sociopathic tendencies. But
So,
what it is it's
gender
a chemical
dysphoria.
imbalance in my body.
I got it. Don't worry. Gender dysphoria, right? Gender dysphoria is not saying that there's something chemically wrong with you. There's no imbalance. It's just that you experience dysphoria is just stress. There's more dysphorias than just gender dysphoria. Dysphoria is just a fancy psychological word for stress. So you're feeling an immense amount of stress because the physical or phenotypic representation of your sex does not align with your gender identity. And that stress, when it becomes too much, is the problem, right? Because that stress can lead to comorbidities. So the stress, because you are feeling this stress all the time, it might lead you to develop anxiety. It might lead you to develop depression. It might even lead you to develop other social disorders like attachment disorders. It could lead to a litany of things because you're feeling this stress. And it's the same where I'll tell you, I'm a cisgender man. I've been a man my whole life. I have no inklings of being anything else. I've had to shave my beard before, and it fucking felt weird. I didn't like being out in the world without my beard. I didn't like existing in space without my beard. I didn't like it. I was stressed out about it. Now, my stress, nowhere near on the stress a trans person might feel, but that is still a level of, because the reason I didn't like having my beard was because it made me feel like I was less of a man. I didn't feel as comfortable in my manness without my beard. Some men, it's not a thing for them. Men with micro penises, not to dog on them, worst condition a man can go through, in my opinion. But a man with a micro penis, they can experience gender dysphoria because we've tied so much of what being a man is to our manhood. Because they feel inadequate in their manhood, they can experience gender dysphoria. Elderly women can go through it because when their bodies start changing, they start growing hair places they're not used to. Things start to sag. They might be getting spots and stuff throughout their bodies. They can experience gender dysphoria because they are no longer matching what in their mind and in society's mind has been a woman their whole life. So all we're saying, and this is different than people who might have like a dysmorphia, right? Somebody with body dysmorphia physically sees their body differently than it looks. So when they look in the mirror, they don't see what's actually there. They see themselves as fat. They see themselves like even if they're stick thin, right? And that's where there becomes a larger issue with like this disorder and whatnot. But again, trans people who are going through gender dysphoria, which not all of them do, some don't even experience gender dysphoria. But the trans people that do experience gender dysphoria, it's just that stress. And that stress, like I had said, I don't know, I think it was you. I've already forgotten some of the beginning of this conversation. Children who start to develop gender dysphoria develop it around the age of 7, but it gets exacerbated at puberty because up until puberty, boys and girls are essentially the same body-wise. Like their hormone profiles are essentially the same. They haven't gone through puberty, so none of those changes have happened yet. It's why like boys and girls will play each other on TV and none of us notice shit when they're young enough because they're just like their body, like just how the human bodies are. But when they go through puberty, for instance, if you have a trans girl who goes through puberty, her gender dysphoria can exacerbate because now her body is changing in ways that would be in alignment with a male body, which is what society is telling her she is, even though her brain is telling her she's not. So because her body is just changing, and this is where we use the moniker, right? The wrong body moniker. It's just like shorthand to let people sort of understand, hey, all of what I'm feeling, which I even only touched the surface with you here, would take like 2 hours to get into like an even deeper, longer conversation about it. This is just the shorthand so you can have a bit of an understanding of what I'm going through. They don't actually think they're in a body that's not theirs or a body that's necessarily quote unquote wrong. Right? They just want to change the same way you or I get a haircut, the same way a cis woman might get a boob job because she wants to have bigger boobs, the same way I know a million women who have lip injections and shit because they just feel more feminine when they do it. It's the exact same thing, just for a group of people who have that severe distress tied alongside with it. So a long answer, but I like to be comprehensive.
Well, but I mean, no, it actually makes sense. I see what you're saying on that. I mean, it does make sense. It's more along the lines you're trying to align your whole being, your mind and body.
Exactly.
You're trying to align them with your own perception, which, and like you said, I guess that wouldn't be any different than me and you. I don't go without my beard. I haven't shaved my beard. I keep it trimmed, but I haven't shaved it since I was discharged from the Army.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. Just one might take a bit more work than the other, right? I don't really have to do anything to not shave my beard. I just don't shave it. Some people need to, and there are some men who don't like beards. They feel more at home in their masculinity when they're clean shaven. And that's fine. It's about the individual and what their perception of themselves are and how they better align the perceptions of themselves with their outward appearance.
Well, that makes, like I said, that does actually makes a lot of sense because, I was looked at it a different way, but I mean, the way you presented it, like you said, it'd be no different than you or I changing something about our appearance because that's the way we feel and that's what we like and that's what, how I guess we're comfortable with. I guess it'd be the best way to say that.
Yeah.
Yep. I thank you very much for your time.
All right. Sure thing, Christopher. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah. You guys have a wonderful day.
You too. Good on Christopher. Truthfully, good on Christopher. Genuinely the most good faith caller that I think I have talked to in months. W. Christopher, and honestly, honest to God. He changed his mind on the pronoun thing. He changed his mind. Like, W to Christopher. Hardcore W to Christopher, bruh. But do you notice it's such a juxtaposition, my behavior with someone like Christopher? Christopher started out, right, at the start of the conversation. I was like, all right, we're doing this pronoun thing. But the second he started understanding the pronoun thing, you saw the change in me, like, immediately. I was like, no, okay, I get it. So I was like, I'm going to scale back. and just have a conversation with them. And it worked out really well. Good on Christopher. Please upload that. I upload everything, so it'll be uploaded. I mean, the whole live will be uploaded as soon as it's done. 219-327-8005 for anybody else that wants to call in and debate. Should I do some more gaming tonight? Arden won't be able to join me, unless. But should I game more tonight? I really have been having fun doing gaming streams. Yeah, no. The VOD channel is going to become the video essay channel, and the VODs are just getting uploaded to the main channel. So the VOD channel is becoming the video essay channel because I really want my video essays separated. Do you have commands? No fun ones. I might start to think of some fun ones for the future. Feet cam is crazy. Do more singing videos. So you know what I did? So I have the ability to go karaoke mode now on my stream, where essentially what I do is if I press these two buttons, well, let me actually see if they work. So what should happen? Oh, see, yeah. No, I have to fix this one. Hold on. I got to figure out a way that this doesn't change, because every time this changes, I have to fix something. But so essentially what I can do, where's my Google Chrome? Wait a minute. Oh, application audio, duh. And then Google Chrome. Now, I've not used it, and I don't know that whenever I would be convinced to use it, but essentially I can press this button and this button. Now, my voice should have changed, right? I should sound different, right? I should sound different to you guys. And if I wanted to, I could play a song and hop that karaoke mother shit. But I don't know when I would do this. I don't know what you guys would have to do. It's called a reverb, chat. Hello. I don't know what you guys would have to do to win this, but it's here as something I can do. You know what I mean? It's here as a win, you know? Hello, it's me. The only thing I have to figure out is I think it's the noise gate, or it might be the compression. I don't know the words, but if I do get too loud, it gets crunchy. And I have a loud singing voice, so that's hard. And then I can turn it back. That is something I can do if at some point we figure out how we do that. If we ever figure out what you guys want for that one. Karaoke birthday theme? Huh? I don't know. We'll figure something out. Might be something people can redeem. But here's the thing. If you were redeeming like a song, I only sing theater and like Disney songs. So it'd have to be one of those. I don't really sing anything else. Can you do it as channel points? No, that'll be too many people. No. Karaoke rage bait? Yes. You guys can keep requesting stuff, but I don't know what to do yet. So I don't know how you can redeem it yet. So. Why do we keep dropping this caller? Winnie, can you tell me why we keep dropping the caller who keeps calling? I mean, reading the note, it sure looks like there's a disagreement there, so I don't understand why we keep dropping them. Jovan, debate me about trans med stuff? What are you, a trans medicalist? That's stupid. Is it just you hate poor trans people, or what's the reason specifically? Winnie, are you in the staff chat? Are you in the chat? To tell me what the thing keeps dropping? Yeah, I'm asking why. But because it's off board. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's off board. Because the overall, it would disagree with my first claim. If they're a trans medicalist, it definitely doesn't agree with my first claim. Because it's not that trans men and women are men and women, it's that transitioned men and women would be men and women. Which is a disagreement to my claim. Fuzzy, not Fuzzy Mod. We need another name for you, Fuzzy, who's not mod. Non-mod Fuzzy. Specifically said she agrees with topic 1. You can't agree with topic 1 if you claim trans medicalism. It's just impossible. But I did tell you no office hours call, so I understand. If they call back, they can come through. I'll give them permission since they're in chat. But no, I understand. I did say I don't want office hours calls, so anybody calling off board would get denied. Ooh, I can't see. Oh, yes, I can. Jedi Kylo said, perhaps consider a caller agrees with Jovan by end of call as a rare challenge bingo square, but enjoying it. True. I don't think is there a caller agrees portion of the board? I don't even know. I gotta add that. So tolerant and accepting other views. Hey, just fun fact, Dwarven Jesus, we aren't tolerant here. I don't know whoever put that idea in your head. Me, I'm not tolerant, my mods aren't tolerant, and we've never claimed to be. So I don't know where you got that one from. I am quite literally, my threads page calls me the intolerant leftist. Tony, thanks for the Venmo. If there's a way to join you in karaoke, I can promise you that Meg and I would be all over that as fellow Broadway show tunes Disney music nerds. Well, next time I go visit Texas, you also visit Texas, and we'll go to karaoke. I need more water. I'm getting more water. Now that's some high quality H2O. They're transing the Atlantic. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I saw the DBZ collab with Burger King. Can we stop calling it collabs? It's not a collab. They're just slapping the name of Dragon Ball onto some already made meal. Just like it's not a collab when McDonald's repackages a quarter pounder. The only one I'll give you differently was the Grinch collab. Was a collab. Yeah, like the Grinch collab, they gave you socks. They had a special seasoning. That's a collab. Was the Mulan one a collab? More of a collab than most of them. So I don't know what's in the Dragon Ball collab to call it a collab. Good luck finding a McDonald's with a play place. Yeah, we'll do some more pop culture debates at some point. Fun if you've seen a possession yet still waiting on your take is crazy. Would you like to debate veganism with me? No. No, indeed. Sorry, answering an email. All right, let's take the next call. All right, coming up next is Rick. Rick is calling to talk about topic number 5. Rick from Texas. Rick, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
43, he, him.
Okay, now Rick, who is Robert 44?
I don't know who the heck. What?
Yeah, the last time you called in, which was in December, you were Robert, who's 44. Now you're Rick, who's 43, which is the truth.
I don't know who that is. Okay.
You don't, because you called in about the exact same topic.
Maybe one of my friends got on. I don't know. Hey. Let me ask you a question, okay?
Oh, sure.
All right. So you made a claim that
Sure
I
did.
want you to prove
Okay, what claim?
that Christianity is false.
Crazy echo. Chat, you have an echo? Why would you have an echo? What are you talking about?
Me?
No. Chat.
Am I echoing? I'm not on speaker or nothing like the lady said.
Chat, I don't know what you would be echoing from. Only echo from the caller. I don't hear an echo when Rick talks. What? Hold on, let me go back and listen to the stream real quick. Hold on, Rick. Just trying to hear what chat is hearing right now.
I don't know when I would do this.
Oh.
I don't know what.
Is there?
Okay.
Oh, sure.
All right.
What the fuck?
So you made.
Wait, what the fuck? What is that? Oh, you know what? This didn't turn off. That's what happened. Hold on. That's what happened. Okay. Sorry, we're all good, Rick. Okay, Rick, what was the claim that I have that you want me to provide an argument for?
Oh, that proof that Christianity is false.
Oh yeah, I would just say Christianity makes claims in the Bible that we know are fundamentally untrue, and because we can prove that those claims are untrue, it leads to further credibility that the rest of the claims are untrue.
Okay, what claims?
It makes a claim that there was a flood that killed all but 8 people. We know this to be false. It makes
Wait. How do we know that to be false?
For a litany of reasons. One, we know when the flood would have occurred based upon the age of Noah. And we know that there were, because the Bible specifically says only 8 people survived the flood, but we know that there were other societies that were alive and flourishing at the time of the flood, such as ancient Egypt, ancient Mesopotamia, ancient China. So therefore the flood could not have happened and could not have killed all but 8 people. Also, you can't repopulate a species with 8 people.
Exact age, or how do we know the exact time frame of when the flood happened?
Because we know how old Noah. Because we know how old Noah was.
Okay. Do you know when the Earth was created?
Yeah, per the Bible, it would have been around 6,000 years ago.
Earth? Huh?
Per the Bible, it would have been about 6,000 years ago, give or take.
Yes, I do believe in a young Earth. Some people do not. Okay. So
I don't agree with this. This is just what the Bible claims.
Yeah, I got you. I know you don't believe in a young Earth. You believe that the Earth is billions of years old.
Yep.
Like scientists say.
Yep.
So how do we
Based on the
know
evidence,
for a fact that all those other civilizations didn't die out in a flood?
Because we, like, take ancient Egypt, for example. We literally have their tax records from the time. Like, their tax records.
And how do you believe that those documents, but you don't believe the Bible is historical?
Well, because again,
documents in the
Bible is making
it's not a book.
Hold on.
It's many books.
Hold on. The Bible is making a verifiable claim here, a claim we can very easily verify, which is that not only was there a flood that rained 40 days and 40 nights, but then the flood water lasted for, I think it was 120 days before the flood water dissipated. It tells us exactly how old Noah was when the flood began, which was 600. So we can use this based upon Noah's lineage, because we know how old Adam was, and we know when Adam was created. So we can use that to go from Adam to Seth to Enosh to down the line. But it also tells us how many people survived the flood, which is 8. Noah, his wife, their 3 sons, and their 3 sons' wives. 8 people. 8 people couldn't have lived if ancient Egypt was existing and had a existing tax system that they kept records for.
And how do we know the age of those tax records? Like, how do we know that they are,
because we
at the
know what
exact same
we know
time the
what
flood
we know what
happened.
Pharaoh they were constructed under.
Okay. How do we know this? Just saying it doesn't prove that we know it. Is there any proof that we know what Pharaoh was and that they were existent and that they didn't die out in a flood?
Again, the proof is having the records from that time period. Now we can date things, right? So we know how to date things and how to find out
Okay.
when they're from, but we also then use context based upon who was in charge. Again, Egypt was very good at keeping records. So they kept records of who was in charge when. We know specific, like Egypt kept notes about their losses, their wins. Like Egypt was very fucking strict about this.
Mm-hmm.
So using this, we can carbon date the fucking paper that they wrote the shit on.
Mm-hmm.
So we know when this was. So
Okay. So dating all those dates that scientists use, how do we know that's 100% accurate?
how do we know if carbon dating is 100% accurate?
Mm-hmm.
What would be your issues with carbon dating to believe that to have any flaws to it?
I have a lot of issues with a lot of their
I'm
dating.
asking very specifically, carbon dating specifically. What's your issue with carbon dating?
It was either carbon dating or radiometric dating, however you do that. That the scientists
By the way, I
on
won't.
Mount
I
St.
just want to.
Helens.
I just want to FYI and say that just before we get too far from it, Egypt independently
Mm-hmm.
kept records with with dates on them. So Egypt
Okay.
did keep dated records. But go
Okay.
ahead.
But
Tell
I'll
me your
also
issues
go
with
on this
carbon
dating
dating.
system as to why I don't have any faith in the scientific community on that. Because when they dated rocks from Mount St. Helens, when we had an actual date of when it went off, when it erupted, their dating was thousands and thousands of years off. It's not just a small little thing. It was thousands of years off. They've also dated an animal. It was what was it? I had to look back at it. They dated an animal that was, the bones had one date, and the skin, still had skin that they could date. It was a totally different date, like thousands of years different. So I guess
So
the skeleton of the animal walked around with no skin on it.
Why specifically so you're talking about a very specific experiment that a young Earth creationist did in the 80s. Well, not in the 80s. It was on the rocks from the 80s. So he did them on Mount St. Helens on rocks that were 10 years old that did come out and say these rocks were thousands to millions of years old. But why did it say that?
I just knew thousands. I'm sorry.
But why did it say that? There's a very specific reason for why his experiment came out that way and why other people were able to properly date the rocks.
Oh, no. Go ahead and tell me why.
So he used KAR dating, right? So it specifically measures the accumulation of argon. So it's the accumulation of argon 40, I think it is, which decays off of potassium 40. So when potassium 40 is decaying, it produces argon 40. Young rocks like the ones they were testing, quite literally, like essentially have no measurable argon in them. So they're just getting errors. They were getting essentially errors. And it's even a known phenomenon when you test rocks like this. It's called excess argon. So they were getting just notable excess reads because there was none in there and the measurement was off, and going, see, all carbon dating is wrong. That's not true when we look at the actual science. The actual science disagrees with them.
Isn't that the same dating they've done on our Earth?
No.
Okay, what dating have they done on that one?
They've done a bunch of different ones. So potassium argon dating and carbon dating, which is radiocarbon dating, are two completely different types of dating. The half-life of potassium argon is 1.25 billion years. The half-life of carbon is 5,730 years. They aren't even, one of them is used on, like carbon dating you use on previously living material, so previously organic material, where argon dating is mostly used on volcanic rocks. So like, these are just two very different dating processes.
Wait, so argon is supposed to be used on volcanic?
Yes,
what you
very,
just said,
very
right?
old volcanic rocks or minerals and things like that. You wouldn't
But
use it
when
on
he
like
used
previously
that
once living
exact
organic matter.
dating, but when he used that on that exact dating, he was wrong for that?
Because he used it on rock that was too young to produce. It was too young to have produced the half-life is 1.25 billion years.
Okay, so how do we know that all those rocks that came out of there and all the rocks that made up the volcano, how come some of those couldn't have been that old if this Earth
Okay.
is that old?
Okay, hold on. Rick, do you know what a half-life is? Do you know what a half-life is measuring?
Explain it. Go ahead.
So
'Cause you know
half-life is
everything.
measuring the amount of time it takes for half of the radioactive atoms in a sample to decay.
Yes.
So when we're looking at, so it takes 1.25 billion years for half of the radioactive atoms in potassium to decay. And the argon is produced by the decaying potassium. So if it takes 1.25 billion years to even get half, right? If you have a sample that's 10 years old, you are essentially getting nothing out of that, which is why they produced basically errors the whole time. The sample didn't have any argon in and of itself to produce because it hadn't half-lifed.
Okay.
We've had people who have gone in because they've seen this experiment done by, I don't remember the dude's name, and they've re-verified all of this.
So how do we know for a fact that they dated the documents from the Egyptians correctly?
Okay, so the tax records. Yeah, so a few different ways. One is going to be those tax records contained the name of the pharaoh that was reigning. So usually in Egypt, documents would say year of X, king blank. So we know when each pharaoh in Egypt was ruling for, because again, they kept records of this. So we know when a record was produced, like the tax records, we know when they were produced because we know which pharaoh they were under because they kept records of that.
Okay, so we know which pharaoh it was, but like, okay, I'm just going to put this out there. As a Christian, I am not positive of the pharaoh, all right, that was ruling at the time the Israelites were enslaved there.
Well, this has nothing to do
So,
with when the Israelites were enslaved. Wait, this is a different time period.
I get that. What I'm saying is,
so hold on, but what you're touching
we're not
on,
positive even in that.
Well, Rick,
so
what you're touching on is another issue with the Bible. The Bible never names the pharaoh. The pharaoh in Exodus is never named.
Yes.
But we know based on Moses's age when that Exodus would have occurred, like what year that would have occurred, because we know Moses's age. We know his age at the start of the Exodus, and we know his age in his death. The Bible is very clear about when these people lived and died. And we can use Moses's age and the time of the Exodus to look at what was going on in ancient Egypt. And you know what's very interesting that we don't find? Any historical information about a mass killing of infants, like firstborn children. There's no records about that. There's no records of, it was millions of people. I think the Bible claims, what is it? I don't want to get the number wrong. Let me look it up. Let me just double check. It was millions, though. How many people left in the Exodus from Egypt? It was not just the Israelites. They took others with them. It was about 2 to 3 million people.
Yes.
So 600,000 adult Israelite men, but in total was like 2 to 3 million people. There's nothing in the Bible. There's nothing in Egyptian historical text about that many people leaving. There's no archaeological evidence because we know where they started and where they ended up in walking. And if you had a group of 2 to 3 million people walking from one location to the next, you would have evidence of this, especially with how long that walk took. Right? We know how long.
We have evidence.
No, we
No,
don't.
we have evidence of
No,
it,
we
of the
don't.
Exodus.
No, we don't.
100% we do.
We do not.
You can't just, when I say something that we do have something, you can't say, no,
Well, you're
we
not
don't.
telling
Whenever
me
you
what
said
evidence.
something,
You're not
I
telling me.
asked you.
I'm giving you the specifics of the evidence, right? You're just saying we have evidence. I'm giving you the specifics.
Hang on.
So what specific
Hang on,
evidence
one
do we have
second.
of the Exodus?
Okay, 1 second, okay? Whenever you said something, made a claim, I always asked you, what is your evidence? And then you gave it to me, correct? So just now when I said, no, we do have evidence for that, you said, no, we don't.
Well,
You never said, okay, what is your evidence?
Yeah,
you just
Rick.
flat out said, you're wrong, you don't have it, without asking me what evidence I do have or I believe I have.
Rick, the reason why I say we don't is because I'm very studied in the evidence of this. And the closest you're going to get is people who claim that we found chariots at the bottom of the Red Sea, which we haven't.
Actually, there is chariots at the bottom of the Red Sea, and that's
There's not.
part of the evidence. That's physical evidence.
There's not.
Okay, and then we also have something else, which is on either side, okay, of the river, the Red Sea, we have a Hebrew, what is it called? Like an offering. The stones that they built up for their offering, and it was Hebrew. We know that for a fact that the Hebrews are the ones that used them, that made them, okay, for their offerings. It's historical. We also have that, so we have that on both sides of the Red Sea.
Rick, let me
including
tackle
all the
both of these.
chariots, which I have seen videos of the chariots that you cannot say that they don't exist.
Rick, let me tackle both of these.
Okay,
The chariots, there has never been an authenticated chariot artifact pulled out of the Red Sea. The pictures you're talking about, the famed pictures that everybody looks at, are coral foundations that people think, based on the shape of them, are wheels. Nothing's been pulled out of the sea. Nothing's ever been analyzed by any independent party. Nothing's been pulled out and analyzed by fucking a Christian party. You would think if these wheels exist at the bottom of the ocean, that are the bottom of the Red Sea, that are going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that there were chariots in the middle of the Red Sea. Somebody would have pulled them out. Somebody would have sent the pieces around for independent verification. No one's done that. Now, the closest you're going to get is, what's his name? Dave Wyatt. What's his name? The guy who has been discredited time and time again for making false claims about archaeological evidence. The same person. Well, I'm sorry. Say the first name again.
Ron Wyatt.
That might be true. I don't know his. Yeah, Ron Wyatt. I think Ron Wyatt. Yeah. Ron Wyatt's been disproven over and over and over again. He's the same person that makes the claim that you've made about the like stone offering sites on both sides, right? And his specific claim has also been debunked because the offerings have not been linked to any as far as I know, those offerings have not been linked to Hebrew people. Like there's nothing actually linking those stones. He just claims that they are with no evidence.
Well, not the stone themselves. Okay, you can use any stone to make it. It's the way in which they made them and built them up as an offering to God were the exact way that God instructed the Hebrews to do it and how they did it for many years, thousands of years.
No, he talks about the transcriptions on them specifically. He says the reason we can link them to King Solomon is because they're transcribed specifically. But like none of those transcriptions have ever been verified. And we don't even have the transcriptions. Like there are no transcriptions. Like the column that he says it's in, there's the one in Saudi Arabia, and I think that's the one where the inscription is completely gone. It's not even on there anymore. It's been eroded completely away. So we have quite literally no way to verify these things he's saying. And I'm sorry, without being able to verify this, I'm not counting this as evidence.
And also, just to let you know, the reason nobody can actually pull those wheels up and stuff is more likely they're going to disintegrate. Okay, if you touch it.
No,
because they've been to the bottom of the ocean. That's why
they're
we
at the bottom of
can't
the
get
Red
the
Sea.
Titanic up.
Wait.
I mean,
How
sea,
deep do
not
you
the
think the
ocean.
Red Sea is versus where the Titanic is in the ocean?
No, I get that. I know there's a big difference, and there's, it's all salty and everything, is the ocean. But no, I'm just serious. How many years ago did the Titanic sink versus
The
how
issue
many
with the
years
Titanic,
ago?
the issue with the Titanic is depth. It's primarily depth. The reason why we can't pull the Titanic up is primarily depth. It's just too.
It's not just that. No, it's not just that. I've watched documentaries on it. They are afraid to try to bring any of it up because we have the technology now to go get it. But they're afraid to bring it up because they say that as soon as it touches air, those pieces the parts that they bring up are going to disintegrate. It cannot.
No. It's going to crush because of the pressure. When the Titanic sunk, right? It sunk very slowly. Like once it was in the water, it slowly sunk to the bottom.
Yeah,
and it hit an initial amount of pressure, which is why we see a bunch of different cracks and stuff in the ship where it is now. If we try to raise this, that reverse pressure is going to then exacerbate these things. It's already in two pieces. So it's not held together very strongly now. When we're talking about the Red Sea, it's nowhere near. It's nowhere near as, and to make the claim like, well, if we touch them and try to move them, they might disintegrate. Do we think fish don't touch them all the time? All the time. They're being touched.
They're brushing against it, not grabbing it and pulling it up. You see what I'm saying?
We can. Wait, you're saying we can't go. You're saying that we can't go down there and dig around it to free it and then gradually raise it. We have to yank it. No, there's a million ways we could get them out, but no one's done it. Nobody who's Christian. You would think that a Christian. A Christian group somewhere would have done this already, but they haven't.
And it's the same thing saying that there's no flood when there's literally a place in a mountain, mountain in Turkey. In Turkish, the sign reads Noah's Mountain or Noah's Mount.
That doesn't mean anything.
Where we believe,
I could put a sign out tomorrow that says Noah's Mountain on a hill in my backyard. It doesn't make it so.
Well, there are also things there that lead us to believe that Noah's Ark rested there, like the whole shape of the ark matches the diameter, the whole measurements match. There's fragments there that lead us to believe is the exact type of wood that they would have used. Lots of stuff there. And then
wait. No, there's not, because we know the exact type of wood Noah used because the Bible tells us, and we've not found that wood on the mountain. The Bible tells us we have not found that type of wood on that mountain.
Well, I'm telling you that type of wood is on that mountain.
It's not.
That they've actually done documentaries on that one too.
No, we've not found those. We have not found that type of wood on those mountains, friend. Nobody. Okay. Again, you keep talking. Wait. Do you notice something that keeps happening? You keep saying, "Well, this person found this thing." They've never authenticated this thing. They've never reproduced this thing. You would think there'd be more than one like fragment of wood, right? They didn't take a group up, verify that they're pulling this wood from the mountain, take it, have it examined. None of this has happened. The shape of the mountain doesn't tell us anything, like, right? And when the biggest piece that people always point to is, oh, well, look at the sedimentary rock that's on the top of the mountain that matches what's at the bottom of the sea, which is like, yeah, duh, because mountains are crushed tectonic plates. They go from being very low to being very high.
They did it secretly when I said it was an entire documentary. He just said that they didn't video it or nothing.
Rick,
it's a documentary.
Rick, they've never had any of this stuff independently verified. You can't just make a claim that you possess something and say, well, I'm not going to let you guys test the thing I possess. You just have to believe me that it's it. That's not how we verify. But that's what they're doing, Rick. That's what they're doing.
I don't know who tested it. I did not say they didn't let anyone test it, or they did let anyone test it. I don't know who all tested it.
Rick,
okay?
There has been wood found near the mountain. None of that wood has been tested and verified as the specific gopher wood that Noah used to build the ark. It's never happened.
So no one in the world has ever tested the wood.
Correct.
That's very bold claim right there.
None of it's been authenticated, Rick.
Huh?
Not a single piece of this evidence has ever been authenticated.
I could go get something tested, right, and show that it was tested as gopher wood and everything, and I guarantee all you skeptics would sit there and say, "Oh, you know what?
You would have done more than these people.
Or you didn't do this, or I didn't have a second person there to verify that test was done, so it doesn't count."
You would have done more than what these people did.
You don't know what all they did.
They did nothing. They've not independently verified any of this.
Besides the flood,
there's been no authentication.
Something else that's false in the Bible.
Well, like I said, we already talked about Exodus. Exodus didn't happen. So that's another major event. That's another major event that the Bible is claiming took place that didn't, is the Exodus. Didn't happen. We actually know that the way the Bible describes specifically Jewish slavery and like Hebrew slavery in Egypt was not the way that they were slaves based on like actual Egyptian records. The Bible claims that they were treated much worse than Egypt actually treated them based on our actual records from the time. How many more do we need to go through? We can go through a bunch
those are
more.
Egyptian records on how Egyptians treated their slaves. And that's 100% proof of how Egyptians treated their slaves.
It would be the only actual verification we have.
But you brought up slavery. I hate to bring this up. Okay, I completely 100% want to put this on record. I 100% am against what happened. All right, in America, I do not believe in slavery. Never condone slavery. Never okay with slavery. Now that I put that out there, that I'm not condoning any type of slavery, okay? We could go off of records of how slave owners in America treated their slaves, right? And some of them might say, oh, I was very good to them, when in all actuality, because they don't want to look like a piece of crap, okay, even worse than what they are, in actuality, Rick, they probably beat that slave,
hey, Rick.
Okay?
Hey, Rick.
So I'm not going to go off of what anyone says how they treated
Rick.
their slaves. They should have had slaves anyway.
Do you know why we know? Do you know why we know how like slave owners treated slaves in America?
How?
Because Americans who are against slavery wrote about it, just like Egyptians who were against slavery at their time would have written about it. This is all the time we got. Rick.
We're not talking about
enjoy the void. It's all the time we got. Enjoy the void. There's no fucking way, bro. Just no evidence versus no evidence versus no evidence. Versus no evidence versus no evidence versus no evidence. Oh, Flibberty, it was too late. I did do the boot. Jesus Christ. Oh, someone called a bingo. Oh shit. Jerry Cone 37 from Missouri. What is a woman? Yup. Giovanna's muted. Yup. Repeat caller. Yup. Logical fallacy. Yup. Microaggression. I don't think there's been a microaggression, friend. They called you cat ears? That's not a microaggression. Laughter is not a microaggression. No, the microaggression has to be on me or somebody who's co-hosting with me. Yeah, no, friend, sorry. No microaggression. I wouldn't count the slavery stuff as a microaggression. All right, let's take the next call. We got a bunch of people in the queue, so we're going to take the next call. Coming in next is Ellie. Ellie is calling to disagree with topic 1 from a trans medicalist perspective. Ellie, what's your age and pronouns, please?
I'm 25 and she, her.
Okay. Ellie, what's your contention with the point?
I think my contention is not with the topic itself because I agree that trans men and women are men and women, but I disagree to an extent that self-ID is the only thing that should be required to be a binary trans person.
What should be required?
Okay, so basically, let me ask you a question. Do you think that a person who claims to be binary and transgender, either on the male or female side, but doesn't do anything to undergo transition and has no desire to do anything to undergo transition, do you still think that that person is valid?
Yes. Why wouldn't they be?
Can I ask you why?
Well, because why wouldn't they be? I would need some
Okay.
type of argumentation for why they now all of a sudden would not be valid in their gender identity.
Let me give you an example. This is a personal anecdote, which I know is not great for debates, but
Not at all.
here's my thing. I saw a person on Hinge yesterday claiming to be a trans woman, but was presenting pictures of themselves with like full beard, full chest out, chest hair, everything, just looked like a complete cisgender man.
If a cisgender woman is doing that same thing, has full beard, chest hair, the whole 9 yards, are they now magically not a woman?
No, that's not my claim.
Well, wait.
My claim is...
Wait, Ellie, why do we have a double standard here?
It's okay. I think that in order to, how should I say this? I think that the way trans people present in society is important in order to not play into transphobic stereotypes. I'm going to be completely honest.
Hold on, let me ask you a question. Ellie, hold on. I want to ask you a question to like boil down to this logic. Do you think
go for it.
Do you think to not play, like, let's take me for example. Do you think that I should act a specific way to not play into white people's racist stereotypes?
No.
Okay, so why do we hold a different energy for trans women?
Listen, I just don't understand how you can claim to be binary and transgender.
Ellie, that's not I don't understand isn't an argument, Ellie. So far, everything that I've countered with you with, you've had no counter back. You were very insistent on debating this in the chat.
Okay.
And it's just becoming, well, I feel this and I feel that, and I don't think, but what's the counter argument?
Okay. I think this is what I think. I think that in order to be binary and transgender, you should at least have some desire to present in a way that fits that description.
That fits whose description specifically? Yours. Like that's
Not
you. You're
mine.
saying it. You must fit. You're saying in order. So again, this is a double standard. For a cis woman to read as a binary cisgender woman, she doesn't have to, or for her to be, let's say to be a binary cisgender woman, she doesn't have to fit any specific society stereotype of what a woman is. But a trans person does. A trans woman has to. This is a double standard.
Okay.
And two, wait, I want to finish this. Two,
Go ahead.
whose prescription are we going with? Society doesn't largely agree on what a woman like phenotypically is. So whose description are we now going with here? And then three, what about somebody who's fucking dirt broke and can't afford it? Or are you saying as long as they have the desire, that doesn't make any, like, as long as you have the desire,
Yes,
you fit?
that is what I'm saying.
How does that, the desire doesn't change whether or not you meet the stereotype or not?
No, I'm saying that it's, okay. Can I ask you a question? And I promise we'll get back to this point.
Sure. I'm doing all the talking today. Why not?
Okay. That person who I saw on Hinge yesterday, as a trans woman who at least makes an effort to pass, do you think it is reasonable for me to feel uncomfortable using the same facilities with a person for who all intensive purposes looks like a cisgender man?
Yes,
do you
it's
think
completely,
it's reasonable
it's
for me to
completely,
be uncomfortable
no, it's
with
completely,
that?
completely unreasonable.
Why?
Because what would be the reason to be uncomfortable with them? Like,
Okay.
Ellie, you are making a, first of all,
Because
Ellie, I need to point something out here. Ellie, I need to point
a space with men.
Ellie, I need to point something out here.
I
need to point something out here. And I'm gonna, two things. One, you emailed me before my show even started today about wanting to talk about this. And the entirety of your argument boils down to, I feel uncomfortable, so everyone should bow down to what I want.
That's not what I'm saying, Jovan.
That's exactly what you just said. You just said, no. I am uncomfortable with who I perceive as a man being in the bathroom. I hate to break it to you, Ellie. There's a lot of people who, it doesn't matter how much you transition, who are going to think that same thing about you. You are using their own argument that they use against you
I think you're misconstruing what I'm saying a little bit.
I'll replay the tape if I have to. You literally just said, I'm uncomfortable being in the bathroom around men.
I am.
But we've already talked in this description. They aren't men.
Restrooms, yes.
But in this hypothetical, they're not men.
Well, okay. Okay. Jovan, let me put it this way. And
this has to be a troll.
I'm not doing
I have to be getting trolled.
I'm not trolling. Let me put it this way. And I understand I'm not doing the best way to back up my point today. But
you haven't tried to back up
let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. Okay. I just believe in my heart of hearts that
to fly with dragons in a land apart. What are we doing?
Binary transness.
Ellie. If I could take what everybody in the world believes in their heart of hearts and put it in a bank account, I'd be a fucking billionaire. But that doesn't do anything here. There are cisgender women who believe it. Wait, stop. Ellie. There are cisgender women who believe in their heart of hearts that you're a man.
I know.
Should you be banned from the bathrooms?
No.
Why are they wrong, Ellie, specifically?
Because I make an effort in my daily life.
They don't care. You weren't born with a uterus, so they don't give a shit about what effort you made. To them, you are a man. They do not care about all the other stuff you're about to say. So should you be banned from? Why?
What do you mean? You argue this all the time, Jovan.
I know, and my argument is that it has nothing to do with physical appearance. So that's why I would be saying they're wrong, because gender and gender identity is a sense of self. But you don't agree.
I agree with it is a sense of self, but I think if you're a binary trans person who has no desire to undergo transition, like,
who
I
cares?
just don't understand it. It doesn't
Who
compute
cares,
in my
Ellie?
brain.
What does it matter? They aren't hurting you. I don't even know why we're saying binary. Like these trans people, like I'm not prescribing some societal correctness to the way we should look phenotypically. None of these trans people are hurting you. They want to pee just like you want to pee. There's no rapid increase of quote unquote non-binary trans people assaulting people in bathrooms. There's none of this. What it feels like, Ellie,
never said
and
that there
genuinely, I don't know how much more I can have this conversation with you. It probably is more designed for a show like Takis where you can talk to actual trans people. I'm not trans.
Yeah, I should probably call in there. You're right.
But they will be a lot less nice to you than I am. I'm just going to let you know. Luck's going to tear you to shreds. What it feels like is that you have an ingrained level of trans misogyny, and you believe that because you are meeting what you consider to be some level of passing, that it's going to spare you from the onslaught. But Ellie, you're
That's
just
not what
holding.
I know.
Hold on. I said this appears to be based on the arguments that you're using. That's what it appears to be based on the arguments you're using. But fun fact, tokens get spent. Like,
I'm aware. I'm going to the camps just like everyone else. I get it.
Your whole argument is the same argument being used against you, and you're using it.
Okay. I think, honestly, let's see, how do I say this? Because it's hard to make an argument that is just, there's no, like, it's just kind of based off of vibes and feels, right? There's not a whole lot of, like,
could it be that that's just what the argument is, and so that's not actually an argument? It's a nothing.
Yeah, it is my opinion.
Yeah, but that's not.
Opinion, but like,
there's nothing there. That's nothing.
Okay, Jovan, do you think that like most cisgender women who have facial hair are like perfectly okay with it and don't want to shave or like do anything about it?
It doesn't matter. I don't care whether they are or aren't. That's what I'm saying here. It doesn't actually matter. At the end of the day, when we're talking about gender and we're saying we need a bathroom for one, because your thing is, okay, Ellie, I'm losing it. I'm losing it, and it's actually gonna make me cut it out.
I'm sorry,
your
Jovan,
claim here, Ellie.
I am a big fan of you. I promise. I watch like a lot of your videos.
Then I don't even know what you're calling. You should already have known this was not going to go the way you thought it would. I
don't want this to be a contentious argument. I'm genuinely like trying to get to.
If you go into a bathroom tomorrow and there are two people standing there, let's say they both are trans women who have not been able to have the privilege, because transitioning is a privilege that a lot of people don't have. So there's two trans people. They've not had the privilege of getting access to transition medication or anything.
Yeah, I get that.
Hold on. Let's say one of them has a desire to transition and the other like physically, and the other doesn't. How do you know which is which?
Well, that would require a critique or a sort of investigation of their social and financial situations.
Well, no, it would require insight into their mental state, which you don't get in a bathroom.
I guess that too.
And if your proclamation is, well, I don't want to pee with a man, they both have to be removed, even though you've said the only thing required is a want to transition. But this doesn't practically work out this way. It practically works out the way that anybody who is poor and can't afford it, anybody who might be going through a difficult time and can't go through with this, any of these things, they would suffer because you don't think they're womanly enough to fit into your prescription and access the bathroom with you. which is the exact thing transphobes do to you.
Let me be honest for 1 second. If I was pre-transition and still looked completely like a cisgender man, I would never use the woman's restroom ever.
If ifs and buts were coconuts, we'd all be on an island. It doesn't matter, Ellie, because they aren't you. Maybe they don't feel comfortable in the men's room for whatever reason. Maybe they experienced some level of assault in the men's room for whatever reason, and they don't want to be in there. It doesn't matter. What matters is where they go. I don't give a shit where somebody pees. Do you know what I would do if somebody walked into the men's room who looked feminine, who I could indistinguish from a woman, and they walked in and I was like coming out the stall, or I was at the urinal? I would keep looking at where I'm looking, which is the wall, finish my shit and walk out. Because I don't give a fuck who's in the bathroom. Make them all co-ed for all I care.
I would do the same thing. I'm fine with co-ed bathrooms. I just said I would feel uncomfortable with a person who presents as a male in the women's restroom.
Ellie, I'm going to crash out in about 2 seconds. I got to be so for real with you. Because you just told me I don't want to be in the bathroom with men, but now you're saying you'd be fine with co-ed bathrooms.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I was talking about the women's restroom specifically.
This has to be, I have to be being trolled. Ellie, this has to be a troll.
I'm not trolling.
What are we doing here?
There's no distinction between women's spaces and co-ed spaces?
I think that if your issue with them in the bathroom is you feel comfortable around people who look like men, you can't then say, but I'd be fine with a co-ed bathroom, because your issue would still exist.
No, Jovan, that's not what I'm saying.
I can hear the smile in your voice at this point. Like, what are we doing?
Jovan, I promise I'm not trolling. I swear. Okay, let me explain. My explanation is that there is a segregated spaces segregated by gender, I think, do have a little bit of a societal prerequisite that you present a certain way in order to be there. Is that not true?
Not unless, Ellie, gender is strictly a phenotypic trait. Do you believe gender is strictly a phenotypic trait?
No, I don't think that.
Then no. Having any specific phenotype that matches is not a prerequisite. Point blank, period. Write it down, seal it in an envelope.
Okay. Jovan,
put on a stamp and ship
it. Jovan, do you think it would be reasonable for me to be uncomfortable if you walked into the women's restroom and I was in there?
I think if someone's uncomfortable, sure. But that uncomfortability doesn't change. No, Ellie.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't be allowed in there. I'm just saying I would be uncomfortable.
You have made the claim that they wouldn't be binary trans women. You've not just made the claim that, oh, it's strictly that I would be uncomfortable. Because I don't care why people are uncomfortable in public 9 times out of 10. If you are uncomfortable with something, it's up to you to put yourself into an environment where you don't experience that uncomfortability. We can't account for everybody's uncomfort. Just like, do you think it would be fair of me if I go into the bathroom and a white person's in there and like, well, I'm uncomfortable with black people in my bathroom, so Jovan gotta leave? No,
obviously
because who cares? So again, my entire point here, Ellie, my entire point here, just so that we've got it understood and clear here, is you are making wildly different claims and you keep shifting the claim every time you come up against an argument that you can't like get past, because I don't let people get past with like fifis and thoughts and fairy dust. Okay.
The only claim that I'm making right now is that I do not always appreciate the identities of people who claim to be binary and transgender without doing anything to change their characteristics or transition in any way whatsoever.
Well, then, Ellie, welcome to being a soldier for transphobia. I'm sure they'll welcome you until they no longer need you.
Okay, Jovan, I would almost argue that it is, in a way, more transphobic to accept people who fit into these right-wing stereotypical boxes of trans caricatures.
And Ellie, I would say that I would say that's dumb. Do you think a black person who is like, let's say he listens to hood rap and he's chilling on a street and he's got his 40, do you think he's playing into right-wing stereotypes and constructions of black people? Or is he just existing as himself? Then you can't do the same. Ellie, please. Come on. If you watch me, you know that like at this point in the conversation, with anybody else, I would have gotten very mean. Okay?
I understand.
So if you recognize it in one instance, I don't know why we keep going. It just keeps coming back to you. What it comes back to, in my opinion, okay? Now, I'm not anybody who's trans. So this is I will give my opinion as a cisgender man who has just done a lot of reading. What it feels like, okay, the operative word here is that you don't like that you've put effort into your transition and they have not. And it feels, it doesn't feel like a comfort thing. It doesn't feel like you're like a fear thing. It feels like you think because you did all this work, everybody else has to do all this work, which is absolutely unequivocally, I almost said irrevocably, maybe both, absolutely unequivocally, irrevocably batshit to me. Because
if you say so,
it doesn't affect you. Ellie, it doesn't affect you. They are living their lives and you're living their lives. If you recognize that being trans and your gender identity is an internal state, then I don't give a fuck what somebody does to their external states. Whatever is best for you at whatever given time is what you should have access to doing. Point blank, period.
Know. For me, it's like, I don't really care what non-binary people do. Like, they can present however, but it's like, I don't know. There's just a little bit of transmedicalism where I'm like, damn, if you're not gonna like really, you're trying to transition to the other gender, but you're not actually transitioning. That's like, I don't know. It's just weird.
Again, Ellie, is gender a sense of self or an external phenotypic expression?
It's definitely a sense of self, but that sense of self does come with external phenotypic traits that, no, it doesn't. If you have gender dysphoria, you would want to change those things.
Ellie, a sense of self quite literally does not come with external phenotypic traits. They can be anything.
Yeah, but okay. That's okay. I didn't mean it literally came with the traits, but like, what I mean is that if you have gender dysphoria, then why, like,
okay, Ellie, you gotta call TACUS at this point. I've given you the counter arguments and you just keep going.
Okay,
you just keep going. TACUS. Yes, but I believe. Yes, but I feel. I've given you the arguments.
I still love you, Jovan. Okay. I still love you. I'm still gonna watch your content. I love you.
Okay. That's fine.
I'm sorry.
I'm just disappointed.
Well, that's okay. I'll keep learning.
Hopefully. Yes, but I feel. Yes, but for me. Yes, but to me. Yes, but wouldn't you say? Anyway. For anybody that wants to read a brief history of trans misogyny, I think that's what it's called, a brief history, I think. It's a good book, and this is covered in that. Is this glue on my hammer? Yeah, who put glue on my hammer? Anyway, read a brief history of trans misogyny. Or is it a short history? It might be a short history of trans misogyny. Go read that book. All right, let's take the next caller. We have two callers in the queue, Rondell and Bill. Both will get up. We're gonna take Rondell first. He's been waiting the longest. So coming up to stream is Rondell from New York, calling to talk about topic number 5, Christianity is false. Rondell, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
Hello. Hi, this is Rondell. He, him.
And your age?
And I would like to change the topic I'm calling about, please.
Okay, 1 second. Can I get your age first?
My age is 35.
Okay, interesting. You want to change your topic, okay, to what?
Yes. After that Ellie person, I would like to do number 1.
Great. Okay.
Actually, can we go with number 2? A blend of number 1 and 2, if possible.
Well, they're two different topics, so which one specifically?
So let's go with number 2.
Okay. Trans kids deserve gender affirming care. This is something I believe. Do you disagree? And if so, why?
Yes, I actually believe trans kids do deserve gender affirming care, so they don't end up like Ellie.
Oh.
So confused, poor person. Ellie, if you are still listening, that was so hard to listen to. My Lord have mercy. Okay, I'm sorry. You can continue.
Okay. Wasn't it okay? Did you have something you actually disagreed with that you wanted to?
Oh yeah, so everything. So Ellie was saying how
Homie, do you disagree with me? I don't really care if you disagree with Ellie. Go find Ellie and debate her.
I agree with 1,000,000,000,000,000% of everything you said.
Okay, so then is there a different topic that you don't agree with me on?
I pretty much agree with you on everything. I just, after that call, it just got me steaming because I am trans myself.
Okay.
And it just shows the double standard that happens in this time we're living in. How somebody can go through so much struggle to become what they want to be and still get put down under the boot of another.
Okay, Rondell.
I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Rondell, I don't mean this negatively in the slightest. Do you know what the title of the show is?
The Jovan Show?
No, it's called Debate a Leftist. I am the leftist. So do you have something you want to debate this a leftist on specifically?
Yes, I would, but may I be honest first?
Were you not being honest before?
Yes.
Okay.
So Rondell, does that ring any bells for you? Maybe if I talk like this, Rondell, Randy. So what's up, brother? How are you? Don't be disappointed, bro. I just know you wouldn't have took me if I called in as anything else. I see you shaking your head. Don't be upset, all right? Can we speak? Can we speak like two gentlemen? There's no contention here, bro. Yo, Jovan, are you gonna speak? Come on, bro. Don't leave me hanging.
Hey, mods, Randy's permabanned. Please mark it in the notes. Randy is officially permabanned. Please mark it in the notes. Thanks. 4 bingo claims. All right, let me see them. Cats meow. What is a woman? Caller can't provide a source. Pay to kick. Trust me, bro. Javon's muted. Yep, those are all good. Cats meow was the first person to send it in. Approved. They won the bingo today. Wait, didn't we have a winner of this game already? Am I high? Oh, it's not letting me. It's not letting me pick. Cats meow is the winner. Why is that? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Cats meow was the first person, so they won first. Ugh. Oh, now my site is fucking broken. What the fuck? Okay, let's hope it fixes itself. Could not load the bingo tool. Okay, now it loaded. Okay, cool. All right. Oh. Uh-oh. What happened? Mods, switch to Discord because the staff site just took a tumble. And I'm not sure what's going on, so I'll have to double check what's happening there. Until I get the staff site back up. Just switch to Discord. Okay. Coming next is Bill. Bill from Kentucky is calling to talk about topic number 3, capitalism being unethical. Bill, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
60, he, him.
Okay, 60, he, him. Thank you, Bill. Okay, Bill, I believe capitalism is unethical. Do you disagree? And if so, why?
Well, what I was going to go by is I've got a business. I am a capitalist, but, you know, minimum wage here is $7.25, I think, whatever. I pay $30 an hour. I got full coverage insurance on all my workers, full dental, and I do give them time off for medical, pregnancies, all this stuff, and which I'm able to. The business, I do everything. And I just don't think I'm unethical about my capitalism in that sense of capitalism. I know that we people are greedy and destroy it, but can I be a capitalist and not be unethical?
No, because in order to make money for your business, in order to make a profit,
Yeah.
you can pay them a fair wage in terms of like cost of living, but you can't pay them what their labor is actually worth and valued. So therefore,
I'm paying them more.
No, you would be you can't be paying
anyone else around here.
What?
And
hold on, Bill, just listen to me here. In order to profit, right? In order to make a profit, you physically cannot pay them what their labor is actually worth. Like you physically can't. Otherwise, you would not earn a profit.
I keep too much.
It doesn't matter. Like you could keep 5%. You are still undervaluing their labor because you're not paying them what their labor is truly worth. An easy way to conceptualize this. I don't really want to get into like a whole long-winded analogy, but usually I do like a shoemaker analogy. If I make shoes and I make a shoe and sell it for $100, I keep that whole $100, right? But if I have to then hire somebody to help me make shoes in order to make money, I can't pay them $100 because if I paid them $100, I wouldn't profit anything. But because I give myself $100, well, you're keeping $50. You're keeping $50 of their labor. That's the exploitation. The unethicalness comes from the fact that in order for you to make money, you can't give them all that their labor is valued. And that's the system we want to move away from.
But it costs me $40 to pay my rent for my building and all the materials. So actually, I get.
But again,
10%.
we're talking profit. We're talking profit here, right? Remember,
I get.
I'm not talking.
10%,
I'm not talking about expenses. Expenses isn't calculated into profit. We're talking about
I know.
profit. So whatever you make after expenses.
$10.
Yeah, they
on
should
that
be making.
One that scenario of 100, I make $10 profit off of their labor.
Yes, that $10 should be theirs because that's their labor.
So okay.
That's where it becomes unethical. Now you could be engaging in the unethical system more ethically than another person, right? That's possible. Nobody's saying that's impossible.
Across the board with all my workers, and we all become the same, would we be capitalist, all of us, or?
If you gave up ownership and said, hey, we're going to turn my business into a co-op, then you would still be living in a capitalist system, but you would be operating your business in a much more like socialistic way, because you would be saying we all have ownership over these productive means.
And we've agreed that if someone has a problem that life is well beyond what my right now for sick pay or any kind of thing like that, got vacation pay and all this thing add in, but we done agreed that everyone would pitch in and take care of that person for a year, whatever. And plus I've got, workers' comp, that's a lot. Most of my money I have to pay up for workers' compensation. I have to get a bond of like $250,000. I have to come up with that. That's part of it.
Yeah, again, these are expenses. These don't count into profit.
Right. They're just expensive, right? Yeah, but I'm just saying that takes care of that. But as my group, I told them, I said, we all want to take care of each other. And I was trying to work I don't want to be unethical about it. So I might have to change the way, can you say a co-op would work?
A co-op would be more ethical, yeah. If everybody had say in ownership, yeah.
Where would I be at in this part? I mean, they would get a say,
I'm sorry, say that again?
Huh?
Say that again?
Like if I was just wondering, am I still the capitalist? Am I unethical in that sense as a co-op still?
No, if you're working a co-op and everybody has ownership, that means everybody has say. No, that wouldn't be an unethical practice. But I'm not even telling you, Bill, I just want to be firm. I'm not telling you have to change your business structure. If you are paying your lowest employee $30 an hour currently, you're paying well above market rate. I'm not telling you to go in and we still live in capitalism. I'm not faulting you who owns a small business who is trying to do right by his employees by paying them well above not only cost of living, but what they're making. Yeah, you could move to a co-op. No one's saying don't do that, but only do it if it feels right for you. We right now, the bigger focus should be on the companies that are like hardcore screwing their shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, I wouldn't run nothing like that. If you can't, now you come in here and just want to work for me part-time just to get money. I may want to make a little more money off of you because I don't know when you're going to work and going to work, But if you come in, shake hands, or we sign whatever you need, and I say, I'm going to give you half of everything. You help me pay for the bills. I'll show you what it costs. And I just, you say it was just, you're saying it's unethical.
It's unethical because it's just inherently unethical to
work that we're going to do it better and go out and advertise. I'm thinking that's capitalism there because I'm getting after something that somebody else is not doing, so I'm going to capitalize on it. And I got to make money to build it up. I can hire more people and add to it. And I want everybody to, be under social, everything.
Yeah, listen,
But
listen. I think worker cooperatives are better in terms of mostly everything, right? Your worker should have a
yeah,
say in their labor, obviously.
yeah,
But like I'm not telling you today, Bill, you have to change the entire structure of your business, right? Like at the end of the day, I'm not as worried about your small business. I don't know how many people you employ, but like your small business is small potatoes to the things that I'm really working about. But just you acknowledging this and being aware of it and trying to figure out, hey, I have this business. It's like owning this business isn't really matching up with my beliefs and ideals in some of these ways. What's the better way I can do this is showing that you are class conscious, which is more than I can say for almost every other business owner in the fucking country.
well, there's several groups of us around here that does this where I'm at because it's the only way to work. I do everything. I've got like 135 people. Like I said, I got to pay $250,000 for workers' comp. Get started, or did pay, or got a bond. I mean, in the bank to cover it, and they're all of them also work other people. If I tell them somebody calls me kind of like a contractor, but I'm not, I also go out and work. But I'm giving it to them across the board, everything, and I just got a big my office part. Like you said, that was just the cost of things that don't count. And I want to be ethical about it. And that was just all, because it said I was, a capitalist. I think I'm a capitalist, but I don't want to be unethical, like calling somebody greedy, cheating. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
you would be a capitalist. You're unethical in the
yeah,
sense that like just in order to run your business to make a profit, like in order to engage in the system in the way capitalism is, you have to. If you want to
well,
move away from it, you could move. Like if you're saying, listen, I'm secure in my business, and I want to move to a way that's like as unethical as possible. There's two things you could do. You could talk to your employees about profit share models, or you could talk to them about going co-op. Both of those things,
well,
would
was
be, you know.
that was what I tried to do, and then they said no. Uh, if you pay us this amount, and I showed them what profit we made. It was, I forget how many years. I think it's 5 years. We grossed $15 million, but it cost $13 million. I mean, that's
Yeah,
paying them and everything else. Yeah, yeah. But there
there's
was
nothing
only
saying
$2
your
million.
employees. There's nothing saying your employees are going to agree. I mean, they might like you as a boss and be like, no, we're okay with you making a little more. Like, that's just because, like, in my opinion, we live in a
Well,
system where like a bunch of people, like they might not be as understanding about the ins and outs of like what makes it ethical and what makes it unethical. Like people can believe that people can even be getting, like I said, you can still be paying a fair wage because you're paying like in accordance with the cost of living. There is nothing, if everything you've told me is correct, you're paying above the cost of living. And you said you're from Kentucky. Kentucky's cost of
yeah,
living is like $21, I think. You're paying well above that. If your lowest paid employee is making 30 an hour, you're paying well above the cost of living. You said you're paying benefits, you're doing all these things that you're doing to be as ethical as possible. If somebody said, Jovan, here's the keys to the country, what are your first immediate changes labor wise? I would be saying everybody has to run their business like Bill does. That'd be you would like, there's nothing that I would outwardly at the moment change about the way you're running your business. I think you're already thinking about it in lines with class distinctions to know how can I better serve the people I work with versus better serving my own wallet.
right. Well, when I seen your unethicalness, that's what kind of I said, am I really doing this and taking and hit? I thought maybe I need to do better. But what you said, okay, I appreciate that. That I'm trying to do the best that I can right now. And the
No,
other thing I wanted to,
totally understand it.
I grew up with somebody that was she was a woman and always, you know, her whole life born that way and all of that. And but she's what we call a tomboy, and she was treated. She had peach fuzz on her face when she was 13, 14 years old. Well, you know, I said her shaved it. They did this grow more and turn black. Well, she never did nothing like that. And she liked short hair. We played ball together and everything. And I always knew she was a woman. But as we got a little bit older, they started treating her like that guy was just on there was trying to treat someone with a beard or whatever. It didn't say. But she was a woman. They treated her like a man and didn't want to be in the bathroom with her because the way she looked. And how bad can that be? And she was a woman, went in the woman's bathroom. I know for a fact she's a woman. She was a close friend eventually. And but it's just so confusion about everybody's different way they look at everything. I mean, you know.
So,
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, so all I'll say, because I think you've been doing real good, and I don't want anything to ruin your goodwill the goodwill you have with chat right now. When it comes to people's gender identity, we just go off of what those people say. So if your friend never once says I'm a man, I would have no reason to treat her that way. If she does, then I would say, okay, now I'm. Other than that, I don't do social prescriptions.
Yeah, she got teased though by other people, and I would tell them, "What's wrong with you?"
So what it seems like you're noticing is how anti-trans rhetoric and anti-trans policy and anti-trans all of this affects women who aren't even trans, because people now make a prescription on your friend has nothing to do with your friend, but is just based on their negative opinions on trans people.
Yeah, like the last guy or the one you was talking to before.
Yeah. That makes total sense.
I mean, you know, it's like back in the day. Well, they still do. We got bearded ladies, and they are ladies. They're not faking it. Some of them clean it off. Some of them or shave. I mean, some don't. But they're women to start with. It ain't like they transitioned and they did all this. They're just, you know. And,
yeah, that's totally fine.
One of my best friends was gay, and he's passed away now. And he was, they weren't but one or two of us that he could talk to it about or anything, because the way it was back in the day, you know.
Yeah. Hey, well, listen, Bill, I'm gonna move on to the next person. I just want to say thank you for calling. It was actually very nice to hear from you. I thought it was very nice to hear.
I just kept seeing that one about that capitalism, and I did call him once before. You with somebody else, and that's where I was wanting to go with it about what I was trying to do, but he just told me I was capitalist, and that was that. No matter what, it was all going to be bad.
Oh, might have been Jimmy. Who knows?
Yeah, it was. You was with him. I called to talk to you because you've been on another show, Forster or somebody else.
Well, as we say around here, we tell Jimmy to go fuck himself. So it works
more
out.
Reasonable and not real high strung when you first get started.
No, I get what you're saying, Bill. Thank you for calling in, and you have a good rest of your day. Okay?
All right. I appreciate what you do, man, and thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one. I love a call that ends with a good "go fuck yourself, Jimmy Snow." You know, love that. Hey guys, listen, if you liked today's show, consider hitting that Cash App and Venmo. We had a good faith conversation where I changed a person's mind completely on trans issues. hit that Cash App and Venmo if you liked that. We had a not so great conversation where I held down the line against the trans medicalist. Hit that Cash App and Venmo if you like that. If you like just listening to Bill, and Bill being somebody who has a business who's like, how do I more ethically run my business? Fucking hit that Cash App and Venmo. This is the shit you get over here at jovanbradley.com/jovanbradley, the line /jovanbradley/debates. Shouldn't speak ill of the dead. Sorry. Shouldn't speak ill of the dead is hilarious. Okay. What a fun day. We have no other calls. So 219-327-8005. I'm awake. I'm not like tired. I don't really want to pop off. So we're here. We're still chilling. Let me go through some super chats. It's been a while since I've put the super chats on screen. So let's just like plop up the super chats and let them go through. It's been a decent day for calls. Chauvin hearts and mind, Bradley. God damn, why is my computer going so fucking ape shit? I can't close. Close. Just close all windows, thanks. Goddamn. It's too big. It's too wide. Can you get lore on that guy who was permabanned? Randy's just an annoying caller who has never been good faith. But now that I won't speak to him, he wants to pretend now I'll be good faith all of a sudden. No, fuck off, Randy. What should I have for dinner tonight? Yo, that thunder is crazy. Oh man, I'd love some good penne alla vodka tonight. We are young, so we set the world on fire. We are brighter than a gold. Are you gonna leave it out to cure for the next day? Maybe. Billy Sipes, I saw you in chat earlier. Billy, you feeling better? You feeling good enough to play some video games tonight? Are you still dying? I mean, I know you're still dying, but are you like... Let me stop. It's always funny to me when people don't know the lore that Billy Sipes is like legitimately dying. I should be around. Sick. Yo, Billy, let's game tonight. Please don't make me play Power World though. Can we play something else? Maybe I can convince Arden to play non. Let me see if Arden and Matt want to play. Arden. Any chance you and Matt want to game tonight? Not for content, but for fun. Unless we end up having so much fun, we want to make content. We tried the voice acting game. Yeah, we played it in Discord. We want, oh, there's Matt right there. We might want to play Metric Chameleon. One game that I'm not really a fan of. Let me rephrase. It's a great game. It's a great game. I just can't draw, so I hate it. Matt, when I come visit Texas, I think October is when I'm coming. I gotta pull up the actual dates though. When I come to Texas, we should film us all playing a board game for Joe Varden Games. And it should be Catan, because I know you hate Catan, but it makes the content better when you hate what we're doing. No. If I'm gonna end stream, I'm gonna like fully end stream and go eat. How many debates did we do today? May, thank you for the Venmo. You should check out Funnel Runners. That'll be way fun with a bigger group. Maybe, I've never even heard of it. Oh, sorry, Bradley, thank you for the Cash App. Said, please do the Bill Nye the Science Guy Bill chant. Oh, the Bill. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Also a reminder, guys, I won't be here September, I think it's like the 4th through the 8th, because I'll be at the Socialism Conference. So you won't have Jovan. I will still be putting out a bunch of content because I'll be in conference mode. So we'll be filming and putting out a bunch of shit while we're there. But you won't have me here. I actually have to put that event on the calendar, like in my thing, so people who are there, if they're walking around and see me. I love Catan. I don't know. I think the reason I like Catan so much is the first time I ever played it, I won 3 games back to back. And that's just a great way to, it's just a great way to get introduced to a game, you know? Oh, I'm so bad at Risk. We gonna party September 10th for Charlie? Oh my God, yeah, pour one out for Kirk. The Halloween stream should be good. I haven't found someone yet who's willing to do I want to find somebody who legitimately will do a seance. I haven't found them yet, but that's the plan. Is I'm gonna do a seance and debate Charlie Kirk on Halloween. Maybe I'll just use a Ouija board. You couldn't pay me to play Welcome to the Game. Hell no. I am not that much of a glutton for punishment. Do you even believe in ghosts? Fuck no. But the bait is so funny. Obviously, I'll do it like the day before Halloween because Halloween I have to like do family stuff, but. Whenever I kick off the next Halloween, you better summon me. Jesus Christ. Billy, goddamn. I wonder if I could get a custom Ouija board made. Jimmy could probably make me one. Is Javon going to be uploading to the VOD channel soon? No, VOD channel is now going to be the video essay channel. All the VODs are just uploaded to the YouTube as soon as they're done. They're just in the live. You just have to click on the live videos and it'll be there. Can't say Billy Sipes 3 times to a mirror. That was where I'll be honest with you, my skepticism and me becoming a skeptic started when I did Bloody Mary and nothing happened. I was like, oh, all this shit is made up. All right, I'm thinking that's going to be the end of stream. I think it's been a good stream today. Let me see. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 debates and then 1 bullshit call with Randy. So I think I'm going to call it. I'm going to kick off. If me, Arden, Matt, and Billy play a game, and if we all decide that it's okay for me to stream it, then I'll stream whatever we end up playing. But I think it's that time. I want to go make dinner. I haven't eaten since 9 a.m., so I think it's time I put some food into my body. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for chilling with me today. Please, please, please subscribe, do all those fun things, do all that stuff. Is Chewed Gum starting right now? Or is Chewed Gum over? It's Tuesday, right? Isn't Tuesday Chewed Gum Day? I don't know if they're live. Are they live? When does Chewed Gum go live? Oh, I'm too soon. They're tonight. Oops. I was too soon. I thought Chewed Gum happened earlier in the day. Never mind. I was going to send you over to them, but I can't send you over to them. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Twitch, do you want to do a raid real quick? How many people are here on Twitch? Could maybe do a raid. I don't know how many of you are here on Twitch. Would it be worth it to do a raid? Let's go do a raid. YouTube, we're kicking off, but stay here if you're watching on Twitch. We're going to do a raid. Bye, YouTube.